Beloved, welcome back to the shop. It is October 31st, 2024, unfortunately Halloween. As a side note, if you consider yourself to be called a Christian and you're letting your kids celebrate or participate in Halloween, shame on you. Grow a spine, become the priest of your household, and come correct. Now, with that out of the way, today I'm going to be sharing with you my fall EDC. This is an annual video that I always do. Quite a few changes this year. One of the main ones is I no longer carry folding knives, I carry a fixed blade knife. So in addition to my full EDC winter, I'm going to do a little bit of a knife review from our friends over in North Carolina, the Primitive Woodsman. I have something very special in this box. So let me give you just an overview. I've got my pockets dumped out here, and then we'll break down each individual item and why I carry what I do. Right here is a full pocket dump. I took out everything that, I started my day with here. Now I carry, concealed carry, and you should too. You should too. I carry using a FUPA, off body. Comes with responsibility, but we've all talked about that in the past. So that's why a lot of this gear, of course, is not going to fit in my pockets. So for winter, I carry gloves. This is my favorite pair of leatherwork gloves ever. Goat skin. Goat skin is so nice. It's thin, it's a lot more flexible, it's a lot more comfortable. You have better dexterity than you do in the wintertime. And I'm always handling firewood, especially in the fall and slivers and cold weather, and I just carry them. The goat skin gloves are so thin and so nice, and this is my favorite brand here, the 1415L. These are the Tillmans. These are excellent. Now, how you rig your goat skin gloves is you need two things. I love these little stainless steel, these are 4 or 5 inch little stainless steel barrel ties. You can buy, and I'll put descriptions to all this, or put links to all this in the description. You can buy these for like $9, you get 50, and man, they are super awesome. You can hang your Fox 40 whistles on things, you can hang all sorts of things. And what I find with gloves, what I learned on the Wildland Fireground was, if you don't put them together, you will certainly lose them. So what I do is I grommet my gloves. I've got videos on these. You can buy a basic grommet kit for a little bit of nothing, and you put these brass grommets in there and keep them together. Keep them together, and then you will just never lose them. And when we're done with this, I'll show you how I carry everything on the body. But I don't even know these are on me. They're so thin. They're such great gloves, and that's what I do. So the Tilly 1415Ls are my favorite. Also, new addition, I started carrying a Ride in the Rain tablet. Maybe it's my advanced years, my memory's not as good as it was, and I find putting information on phones fiddly. I really like it. So this is a Ride in the Rain. It's a waterproof paper with the Ride in the Rain pen, which is super nice. Now this pen has a great sheath, for lack of a better word. This little clip right here will fit on a 2-inch belt. So if you are constantly getting a pin or losing pins, man, this is the way to go. You can put that on your belt and it locks in really nice, and then this writes in any condition. It's a very high quality pen, and these are a great combination. I really like the Ride in the Rain, especially, well, I just do. I carry this now all the time. It just became part of my EDC. Of course, handkerchief. No, man, you can't be considered pro-ho without a handkerchief. Cotton handkerchief is the way to go. Carry it on your rear left pocket, and it's just good for cleaning lenses. Everything is so synthetic these days to be able to have a piece of cotton for wounds, for kids, for cleaning your glasses, cleaning lenses, a million different things. Just never, Granddad said you can't leave the house without one. He said he'd rather leave the house without pants than a pocket knife or a handkerchief. So I always carry one for that reason. Basic wallet. If you're carrying a big, thick wallet in your back pocket, you might want to reconsider. They get so thick, they'll throw your hips out of joint. If you sit a lot, you'll sit crooked to compensate, and it can cause back problems. So I prefer to have a thin sleeve style wallet, carry it in my left front pocket, and then just a basic money clip. This one's all solid copper. Keep them separate, and I like it. I like it. So that's the way I carry it and have for years. Leather sleeve and basic money clip. That is the way to go. AirPods, my iPhone, carry iPhone 16 Pro Max. Primarily, I always get the brand new phones because it's really, I shoot more of my content on phones than anything else. and the cameras on these are pretty amazing. iPhone, and I love AirPods. Listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks, listen to music. I think this is one of the greatest inventions in my lifetime. I really, really enjoy it. So I carry iPods all of the time. In the wintertime, I don't typically carry I always carry one in my FUPA, but I definitely make an extra effort to carry a flashlight in the wintertime because it gets dark so early and I get up early, and having a flashlight is absolutely essential. This is my go-to. I'm just a fan of Surefire. I don't fool around with anything else. This is the Backup MV, and it's a great flashlight because it doesn't have any stupid modes. I will not own a flashlight that has flashy modes. Hello, O-light, right? I don't want that. I want two. I want bright and I want dim. That's what I want. I want bright and I want dim. That way in the middle, if I get up early, I can turn on the dim and I don't wake up Mrs. W. If I want super power to see what the bear is doing in my yard, then I can have that as well. But two modes, simple, clicky, on, off, it is absolutely the way. I carry an extra magazine. Extra magazine. I've seen dudes in stressful situations so many times get excited, hit that magazine release, drop their magazine, and then they're in trouble. So having spare parts to keep your firearm going is very essential. And this is a new addition. You guys know I love Seiko. A Seiko Railroad Conductor's Pocket Watch. When you see the red string on my lapel, either I have a compass or I carry a pocket watch. Why? Well, why do I got two watches on. This one's for navigation, right? This one's just for fashion. I don't set it, of course, you know, they're just for fashion. But this one tells time because this one's quartz. Automatic watches and me, well, I just don't have the discipline to keep them going. So I love carrying a pocket watch, and the Seiko Conductor's watch is such a classic. It's one of the things that absolutely gives me the fizz. The funnest $200 I think I ever spent was it's the most legible watch face of anything I've ever used, and I think it's just so charming. Love, love, love the Seiko Conductor's watch. And we now carry our radios. The Warband is slowly, gradually getting ourselves into the habit of carrying our radios at all times. We're getting vehicle mounted. Now that we've got digital, now that these are encrypted and we can speak privately, that is not nothing. Of course, Warband never breaks the rules. We always follow all laws. But if you want to keep your conversations private, now that's possible. So I carry this all the time. Remote mic, love the remote mic because I can put this in a pocket somewhere. I can pin this up on my lapel, and I got used to carrying it when I was in the fire department, and I like it. And then the extra antenna. Some filthy East Coast guy was trolling in my comments saying, oh, he ties his antenna in a knot because he thinks he's cool. Hey, dummy. Go have this big whip antenna beating you in the head all day long, and then tell me how cool that is. You tie it in a knot. I learned this from, you see, it's a good thing that Pro Hose radios are tough. You tie this in a knot like this because it doesn't hit you in the face. I learned that little trick from Evan, and it's just fine. The antennas are tough. They can handle it. That's why you do that. And you carry it this way, not this way. If you carry it this way, it's hitting you in the chin. But if you carry it this way, offset to the right, that's the way to go. But love the remote mic. And we're just training ourselves to get into the habit that as we move on away from cell phones, especially for privacy, we're going with the encrypted digital radios because they're so good. All right, is there anything else? All right, let me show you how it, oh, yes. Let's do our knives. I think that's an important part. Let's do a little mini knife review. A major change in my EDC from years gone by is I rarely carry the 940 Benchmade, the Osborne, anymore. And the reason is because my good friend, Mr. Jason Barr from Ridge Runner Blades, has turned me on to the small appendix carry fixed blade. This is the Primitive Woodsman Foxfire, and I'm going to go out on a limb because I've carried it so long to say that this is the best way I've ever carried a knife. This front belt horizontal carry. Now, I carry 4 different knives. I'm not going to say I don't carry the 940, but 95% of the time, I'm carrying the little Foxfire knife right here. Now, when I go to Portland, like we were just in there to go to the place where we had our lumber milled, I take the Tepfer Armory, the 13, this big old, this is a bad boy right here. This is W, so I carry it right here, right, the same? So what's nice about this is you're never digging in your pocket, and your hands are naturally just right here. When you need the knife, it's just always right there. It's always there. It's easy to sheath, and you can access it when you're in a seated position. So we were rolling by some undesirables, some Portland people that were panhandling and looking a little aggressive at a stop, and she leans over and locks the window and or locks the doors, and I rolled the window down, you know, because I like to troll. And she's like, well, what happens if he comes over here? And I reach down and I grab my 13. I'm like, yeah, let him come over here and I'll put this in his eye, and I guarantee you he'll back off. He'll have other problems to deal with. I've already resolved, I will meet violence with violence. I don't have to think about it. I already know in my mind what I'm going to do. I don't want to shoot or kill anyone, but if it comes to me and mine being threatened, I will put this in someone's eye. And this is a scary, scary blade. And that's what I carry horizontal right here. And it is really, for a big blade, it carries well right there. So, but most of the time, I'm going to be carrying the little 13. Now, if I don't have a belt, for some reason, you know, some pants just don't, maybe you're wearing sweats or shorts, then I'll go with a fixed blade or a folding blade. So I'll either have the Microtech clip knife, or I'll throw the 940 in a pocket. So I do use it. So I want to show you a brand new knife that Mr. Barr sent me. They're only going to make 100 of these, but if you want to get into one of these awesome Foxfires like I carry, my daily, well, this is the one you want right here. Here's a close-up. This is the Microtech OTF out the front. Oh, it never gets old. This is a beautiful knife. Icebreaker. Glass breaker on the back, of course. We need no introduction to the Benchmade 940, an excellent knife as well. The Tepfer Armory. Dangerous, dangerous. But the best ever I've ever used is this one right here. This is the same as my personal right here. I've been carrying this since, towards the end of summer, every day. It's so good. All right, so our friend Josh in North Carolina, as you may or may not know, owns Primitive Woodsman. He makes, actually, I have another one of his knives. I have 3 knives from him now. The very first one that Jason sent me was his bushcraft knife, right here. There, the thing speaks for itself, does it not? This is my replacement for my Spyderco, and it's one of my top 3 favorite knives. These are actually my 2 favorite knives that I own right here. But beautiful, beautiful knife. But he's doing a short run. This has a good story. So you may or may not know, but Josh's shop, or half of his shop, got taken out by the mudslide in the hurricane, the Helena, over there in North Carolina. And they experienced all sorts of trouble. And one thing that came out of that was this limited edition knife. Now, the scales on this are the same as mine. It's some sort of a rubber. And after using it, you can see my black one here. After using it for so long, this is the best knife scale I've used because of the grip on it. It's really, really good. One of the only things that Josh could salvage out of all of his loss was these scales here, which they dug out of the mud. And so Mr. Barr and Josh got together and they dubbed this the Landslide edition. So this is actually the only knife that Josh can produce right now until he gets his shop put back in shape, which is going to be, you know, a tremendous amount of effort. So he's doing a limited run of these, and Ridge Runner is taking pre-orders for this. And the reason why I'm featuring this, because I want to help my guys out. They're friends of mine, and they make beautiful knives, and this is something that is an absolute treasure. So you'll have the scales in the store. You have there's a special, if you can see that or not, there's a special etching on the side of the blade there that is the Landslide edition. You can see the boulders coming down, and then the Primitive Woodsman on this back side. The hole here is for the lashing. So if you wanted to, this is a classic Scandi grind bushcraft style, but it's mini. And this is, I mean, it's just nearly the perfect EDC knife, especially when you pair it with the sheath and that horizontal carry. It's so small You won't even know you have it. It's very, very nice. So if you'd like to get one of these, I'll put a link down there to Ridge Runner blades. Here's the specs. It's the Foxfire. The steel is, you can see right there, 80, what is that? 80 CRV2, high carbon steel. 2.5-inch blades, 6 inches overall, and very, very skookum. So this is mine. This is my everyday driver, and yours will be an exact copy. You'll just have that the special tan scales, which is actually even cooler. But what a wonderful, wonderful knife and a wonderful way to carry. So big, big fan of that. All right, with that done, let me show you, let's pack everything up and I'll show you how I carry it. My morning starts, I get myself dressed, I put my watches on, then I grab the knife I'm gonna carry. Also, I think part of an EDC should be a belt. I wear, this is an Ironheart leather belt, solid brass buckle, and I roll this over to the side, right over here where it comes right in contact with the belt loop, and that gives me a little bit of extra room for the Foxfire. And that fits in here so nicely with that snap. And I like to wear short-waisted jackets, and that way the knife is always accessible. It's just so nice cutting and opening up cardboard, resheathing it. As I said, when you're sitting, you can still get to it. It's just always there. You don't have it jabbing you and gouging you in the pocket. You don't have to worry about the clip. You know, these knives, you get the clips and they tear up and they hang up on the seat belt. This is the way to go. It's the best I've ever carried. So that's the way I'll carry that. Next up, I'll take my handkerchief. I'll carry that in the back rear pocket. Make sure it's flat. I can't stand anything being bunched up. And then winter time, I'll carry my gloves. And I love these little stainless steel keepers. I don't wear them all the time, but it's nice to have them handy. And so I just thread that barrel on there. And the fact that the goatskin gloves are so thin, they're just not bulky. You know, some cowskin gloves are so bulky, these just mash down. You just don't even know you have them, but they're always there, especially when you're working. You're just never gonna lay them down and you're never gonna lose them. I'll take my wallet and my money clip, and I'll carry that in my front pocket. And that's really the only things I carry in my pocket. Up top, I'm gonna carry my pocket watch, and I'll just thread that through a buttonhole. Now, typically, I'm gonna be wearing either an Ironheart Type 3 trucker's jacket, denim, have breast pockets and hand pockets, or a CPO shirt, which is the same, and I use those pockets definitely for my EDC, and I'll do the same thing. I'll carry the pocket watch in here, but today we're wearing this quite fetching Filson wool vest, a Western vest, and it accomplishes the same thing. I'll carry AirPods in my left pocket. I'll carry my phone in my right pocket. That's usually in the trucker pocket. The vest, the same thing. And that is all, yeah, that's all I keep on my person. Now I'll carry my radio, usually in the breast pocket right here of my trucker's jacket, and just get accustomed to doing that. Sometimes if I'm busy and it's being a problem in my way, I'll lay it down with me, but I always have it within reach. I usually just keep it in the truck or within reach, earshot, so I can hear it. The rest of the items are all gonna be carried in the FUPA. So let's load that up. The FUPA is made by John over at SOE Gear, and it is USA made, and of course the finest tactical gear, nylon, sewn nylon in the country, in my opinion. This is a very versatile piece of kit. I wear it crossbody. Crossbody is nice. You can wear it on the front, like a chest rig, like a mini chest rig, or you can wear it across the back, but it's very, very flexible. Also, you can, with the tabs and the Fastex buckles, you can convert it to a full chest rig, as well as if you order it this way with the double back, this will double as a dangler. Goodness, do we need to go through that? This will carry below your plate carrier for medical or supplies, or you can just attach it. You know, you already got your EDC in here. So this is an excellent, excellent bag. Everyone's got theirs configured differently. Of course, this is how I have mine set up, a G19X, and then the SOE double. Actually, do it this way. When your magazines should always be indexed, so when you pull them out, your index finger's on the point here, so you can put them in. Be consistent. Train and practice. Don't be wondering and fumbling around what you're going to do when you're in trouble. And then, of course, EDC flashlight right there. And these are retained so that if I hit that zipper, and flop this down, everything's accessible, nothing's falling on the ground. And that's all that I keep in that main compartment right there. Keep it simple, make it work. In the zipper pouch right here, this is where I'll carry, these never come out of here easy. This is where I carry my Red in the Rain. And if I'm carrying this, I'll take my wallet out of my pockets because I can't stand to have things in my front pockets. You know, my skinny jeans, how they are. And I'll put that in there. And that's how I roll. That's how I roll when I'm in town. When you see me, you will see me with this, either on the front, right here, crossbody, or on the back. Now, there's also an option. Our friends at Premier Body Armor make a ballistic panel. This is a bulletproof insert that you can put into your FUPA, right there, to have the world's smallest ballistic armor, which is pretty nice. This EDC setup is how I'm going to go when I'm leaving the house. I'm not going to be wearing this around the place. I'm going to have it within reach. But when I go out, you know, the high threat area or some, you know, a situation where you might want to get to this quickly, you know, you've got your zippers on the top, these come out, and then you have access very quickly. You can even roll, because of the two zippers, you know, you can even have your hand in place where you want it, and that's always nice. But typically, I'll throw this on when we get out of the truck, and I'll just throw it around the back, right there. So call it a man purse, call it whatever you will. I couldn't care less. I'm well beyond worrying about what people think about me. I find having a G19 and an extra magazine and this capability, I find it very comforting. And you can see now, if you do want to add the additional body panel, it does protect, you know, your center of mass right here. You know, your heart is in the center of your chest. It's not off to the side. I know you thought that from the Pledge of Allegiance, but that's not the case. But this is the way I roll, always. The problem with off-body carry is the responsibility of not leaving it behind. So if you're worried about that, put your car keys in it, put an AirTag in it that will notify you on your phone the moment you leave, but you just have to be responsible. When I go to a restaurant, I don't necessarily want this on me like this, but I will run it, I'll sit it on my lap, or I'll have my arm through it. I keep track of it. I've never left it anywhere, but it comes with great responsibility, so just be aware of that. And then, of course, the radio. You know, we're getting into the habit of carrying the radios with us, and it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but having the privacy and the encryption, being able to talk without people listening to you is quite nice. Of course, we're not doing anything illegal. You know, some people are removing their license plates off their truck and covering their VIN numbers. Now, of course, Proho would not ever condone this. We should never break the law, but just so you know, it's not a crime. And if you get pulled over, well, just pull them out from the back of the seat and just say, oh, I've been getting on, trying to get them on. But no license plate, no VIN number, no parking tickets, and it's a real way for you to protect your anonymity. Not that I would ever do that, nor would I condone or recommend you do that whatsoever. But I do always say, act accordingly. So may God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.